Hi guys, welcome to my channel, where we use gentle movement sessions to build strength, improve coordination, and increase mobility, so you move better and feel stronger. Today we're doing a lesson called the movement of the eyes, where we use differentiation of the eyes, the head, and the torso, so we can understand the way the movement of the eyes organises the musculature of the body. By noticing how we perform the simple function of turning and focusing on different parts of our body involved in turning, we're able to integrate all the different parts of our body involved in turning to make our movements easier. Start standing today with your feet a comfortable distance apart, and notice whether you're standing more on one leg than the other. Which parts of your feet are touching the floor, the insides, outsides, toes or heels. Whether your head is over your right foot or your left foot. Whether one shoulder is higher than the other. And whether you're bent to one side more than the other. Then start turning side to side, so you're looking over the left shoulder, then the right. And as you do this, let your arms swing too, so one arm goes in front of you, the other arm goes behind you. Notice how your weight shifts side to side, or whether you're keeping your weight in the center. And notice where through the room you look as you turn left, then right. Do you look along the horizon or down to the floor, or do your eyes lift up or down depending on which side you're turning towards? Then stop that and come down to the floor, sitting in a zigzag position. So your left shin is in front of you, your right shin's behind you, your left hand is on the floor, and your right hand is up with your hand draped in front of your chin. Find an angle for your elbow where your shoulder feels comfortable. From here, turn towards the left and then come back to the center. As you turn to the left, keep your eyes along the horizon and your wrist in front of your nose or jaw. Then return. Notice whether you turn only to a point where you can still breathe comfortably, or whether you're trying to turn to the end point where you have to hold your breath or change your breathing to be tighter. Try to stay within a range of motion where you can keep your comfortable breathing, so you're not turning to twist or a big stretch. The next time you turn, stay there. Pick a spot in front of you, then slowly move your eyes along the horizon towards the right, then back to that spot you just chose. Then again, move your eyes along the horizon towards the right without moving your head or your torso or your arm. Then move your eyes back to that spot. And again, move your eyes along the horizon and notice whether you're still breathing or if you've held your breath as you move your eyes back to the spot. Try to keep your breathing natural as your eyes slide inside the eye sockets to the right and then to the spot again. Then move your whole body to the center again, your eyes, your head, and your arm. Once again, turn to the left and notice, can you move further now? Come back to the center and rest with your arm down. Then again, lift your hand so your wrist drapes in front of your chin or your nose. Then turn with your eyes along the horizon towards the left, keeping your wrist in line with your nose. Pick a spot where you're now looking. Then keep looking at that spot and turn only your head towards the right, and then move it back towards that spot. Your eyes continue to look at that spot as your nose and ears and chin and face turn to the right and then back towards the spot. Can you keep your breathing natural without holding your breath as your eyes stay fixed and your head moves without moving your eyes, without moving your arm, without moving your chest? Now return your head, eyes and arm back to the start position. Then turn to the left again and notice, has it become easier to turn further? Return to the start position and then rest. If you like, you can take your leg into a crossed position or stay in the zigzag position. Then come back to your start position with your legs zigzagged, your left hand behind you, supporting you, your right hand in front of your nose, draped. Then turn to the left with your eyes along the horizon, your wrist in line with your nose, and notice whether you're turning any further now. Pick a spot in front of you, to the right, and then keep looking at that spot. Keep your head turned towards that spot, and then move your hand, shoulders, and chest back towards the right, towards the start position. Then move them again, so your wrist is once again in line with your nose. Then do that again. Your head and neck stays stiff, but everything underneath moves back towards the right and then turns to the left again. Continue to do this movement, keeping your breath natural, your jaw relaxed, and your eyes soft, looking at that spot. Just do this one more time. Then take your eyes, head, and arm back to the start position, and once more turn towards the left. And notice, are you traveling even further now? Come back to the start position and rest. Once again, lift your wrist in front of your nose with your hand draped. Turn towards the left. Then pick a spot on the left and lift your right hand on top of your head. From here, keep your head turned towards that spot, your eyes looking at the spot, and lift your right elbow towards the ceiling. And then draw your right elbow back down to the start position. As you lift your right elbow to the ceiling, feel your left ear tilting down towards your left shoulder and your right rib cage lengthening. So your waist bends on the left and lengthens on the right as your elbow tilts up and then back down. And feel that by lifting your elbow to tilt your head, not only does your neck bend, but your whole spine is involved in this side bending action of your head tilting sideways. And notice now that it's not only your spine shifting as your head tilts and your elbow lifts, but can you also feel that you're tilting side to side on your left sit bone as you do this. As your right elbow lifts, you tilt towards the right of your left sit bone, And as it lowers, you tilt back towards the left of your left sit bone. So your pelvis is directly involved in the tilting side to side of your head. Come back to your start position where you're facing forwards with your wrist in front of your nose, and then turn once again to the left, and notice how far you can turn now that your pelvis is incorporated in this movement. Come back to the center and rest. You can either keep your legs zigzagged or cross your legs. And once more, bring your feet to the zigzag position where your legs are folded to the right with your left hand supporting you, your right hand draped in front of your nose, and then turn with your eyes along the horizon towards the left. Then, once you've turned to the left, also place your right hand down on the floor on the left side of your body. Then look down towards your left hip, and then look forwards to the left side of the room again. Keep both palms flat on the floor as you look down towards your left hip, and notice that bends through your neck, bends through your ribs, and even folds through your stomach. Then again, look out to the left and feel that opens your chest and your stomach and shoulders. Once again, look down towards your left hip and notice that you tilt to the right of your left sit bone. And as you look out to the left, you again roll to the left or outside of the left sit bone. Breathe out to look down at your left hip. Breathe in to look out to the left. Do this just one more time, noticing the movements through your legs as your pelvis and torso help your eyes look down and up. And then take your right hand off the floor, come back to the center, and for the last time, turn to the left and notice how far you can turn now. Sit with your legs crossed or in front of you if that's more comfortable. And think back on all the movements we just performed and how each movement was a differentiation of one part of your body that in the end helped you turn further with the rest of the body. Now we repeat on the other side. Sit with your legs zigzagged with your left foot behind you and your right hand supporting you. Bring your left hand to drape in front of your nose and then turn towards the right with your eyes along the horizon and your wrist in line with your nose. Then draw yourself back to the center. Remember only to turn to where you can breathe easily. And seeing as we've already done this on one side, notice which parts of you are moving with your eyes, head, and arm, and which parts you can feel holding still. Just do this one more time, turning to the right. Pick a spot on the wall in front of you. Then move only your eyes towards the left. Then move back towards the right to look at that spot again. Your head stays still, your arm stays still as your eyes move along the horizon in your eye sockets. Then move back to the right to look at that spot. How smooth can you make this movement of your eyes? Is it a smooth movement like you're watching a ship along the horizon? Or is the movement quite darty? Can you keep your breath going naturally and not hold your breath as you do this? Then come back to the start position and again turn towards the right and notice. Can you turn further now? Come back to the center, lower your hand down and rest. Then again bring your left wrist in line with your nose, turn towards the right, choose a spot on the right side of the room that you're looking at. Keep looking at that spot, keep your arms still, but turn your head so your nose, ears and cheeks turn back towards the left. Then again move them to the right to where they're in line with your wrist and eyes again. And then repeat that, turning your face and head to the left and then moving it to the right to join your eyes and your hand. Keep your breathing easy as you do this. And notice that this is now a movement of your head and neck relative or differentiated from your eyes and torso. Come back to the center and again turn towards the right and notice, can you go even further? Come back to the center, rest your arm and rest. Once again, bring your left arm up so that your wrist is draping in front of your nose. And again, turn towards the right. Pick a spot to look at. Then turn your shoulders and chest towards the left. And then move them back so that your wrist again comes in line with your nose. Keep your eyes and face looking at that one spot as everything below your neck turns to the left and to the right. Feel that your right shoulder moves forwards as the left shoulder moves back, so that your chest can turn with your arm back towards the left, and then it can turn to the right again. So now you can feel that your rib cage and waist are turning to the left with your shoulders as your head and eyes and your neck stay still. Come back to the start position again, and then again turn towards the right and notice whether it's easier to go further. Then return to the start position and rest, either keeping your legs in your zigzag position or crossing your legs. Then again, bring your legs to the zigzag position with your left foot behind you, your right hand supporting you, your left hand in front of your nose, and then turning towards the right. Pick a spot on the wall in front of you, lift your left hand on top of your head, and then lift your elbow towards the ceiling so your right ear tilts towards your right shoulder and your left side lengthens. Bring your left elbow down and then repeat, tilting your head to the right and feeling how you not only move your shoulders, your ribs, and your waist as your head tilts so your right ear comes closer to your right shoulder as your left elbow lifts, but that you tilt to the left side of your right sit bone as your elbow lifts, and then the right side of your right sit bone as your elbow lowers. So notice the weight shift through your pelvis as you tilt your head to the right and then straighten it again. Just do this one more time. Then take your hand off your head, come back to the start position, and once more, turn towards the right and notice whether you can go any further. Return to the start position, then rest. For the last time, lift your left hand in line with your nose, turn to the right, looking along the horizon, place your left hand down on the floor beside your right thigh, then look down towards your right hip, and then look forwards along the horizon to the right. Again, look down towards your right hip, feeling how your waist bends and you roll to the left of your right sit bone, and then feel your waist open and your hips roll to the outside of your right hip as you look forwards. Breathe out to look down, breathing in to look forwards. Keep your arms both straight, feeling how your ribs move around your shoulders, your belly rolls with your pelvis backwards and then forwards, and how looking down allows your whole back to soften and looking forwards allows your front to open up. Notice as your pelvis rolls with the movement of your ribs and the movement of your head and the movement of your eyes that moves the rest of your spine, whether your legs move at all with your pelvis. Lift your left hand, come back to your start position, and just one more time, turn towards the right and see how far you can turn easily. Come back to your start position and rest. Come up to standing now. And notice any differences in how you're standing now compared to how you were standing at the start of today's lesson. Feel the weight in your feet, whether you're standing more on the right or left leg, whether your torso is straight or bent to one side, whether your shoulders are level, and whether your head is in the center of your 2 feet or over one side more than the other. And then start turning to the left and then the right again. And notice whether that's easier than it was before, and whether your eyes are more prone to look along the horizon as you turn now than they were before. Notice any weight shift through your legs as you turn and let your arms swing. Then let that go. And for the rest of the day, just notice whether there's any change in the way you feel your eyes moving, and whether as a result it's easier for you to move in ways that might usually be difficult. From today's lesson, you should now understand that if your eyes don't want to move somewhere, your body won't want to move that way. But if your eyes can be free to move, your body will move too.
Thanks for joining me today. I hope you had a great session. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you again soon.